Sunshines! So today I'm going to share with you guys my July wrap-up and August TBR. Some of these books you guys will have already heard about, so I'm just going to kind of breeze over those ones and talk more about the ones that you guys haven't heard me talk about yet. The first book that I read in the month of July, or one of the first books, was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. I loved this book. I'm obsessed with it. They are just perfection. I can't wait to get the others. They will be first on my priority list as soon as I get them. BT dubs. One of the other books I read because of the BookTubeathon was The Merciless by Danielle Vega. Really was not much of a fan of this book. I talked about it some in one of my BookTubeathon wrap-up videos. It was kind of a bummer. It definitely was just gory. I was talking with Christina about it yesterday, and we definitely agree that it's a slasher movie but in book form, and that's not what I look for. Not a huge fan, but I read it. I also read Kill Shakespeare, the graphic novel, Volume 2 by Colin McCreary, Anthony Del Call, and Andy Bellinger. These are really great books, really great comics. Their illustrations are fabulous. The story is really unique and interesting. I love them. Go read them. Also, because of the BookTubeathon, I read the Matched series by Ali Condi. So I read Matched and Crossed and Reached. I really enjoyed those books. I had them recommended to me by, I believe, Christina and Jen, and I really enjoyed every minute of them, so yeah. Okay, so on to a couple of books that I finished reading in the month of July that I did not talk about in my BookTubeathon video. One of them is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. This book is the first book in a trilogy, I believe. It's going to be a series. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a trilogy. I really enjoyed this book. This book is essentially about this girl. Her name is Harper. She is a Southern belle. She lives in the Deep South, and her life is perfection. And on the night of prom at her school, she gets locked in the bathroom with her janitor. The janitor kisses her and transfers his powers of being a paladin into her. So a paladin is basically a protector. She becomes the protector of this boy that she hates called David. Really interesting idea for a story. I really enjoyed it. Jesse the Reader, I'm going to put a link down below to his video because he did a review of this book and I agreed with him on so many points. There were a lot of points that I was actually laughing, I was enjoying myself, but there are other points where I was just kind of like, what? Are you serious right now? There were definitely moments where I thought that the dialogue was super real, the characters were super real. I really enjoyed their interactions, I enjoyed some of the lines, they made me laugh, like I said. I really did enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to reading the next book because some crazy-ish happens at the end of this book, so definitely recommend it. It's worth a read. The last book that I read in the month of July, I finished up actually today, but I started it in July, so I'm counting it as one of my July books, and that is Ask the Passengers by A.S. King. This book is incredible. This book is about Astrid Jones. She is a girl who has a not perfect home life. She and her family moved to some state that I can't remember in the South, and it's sort of about her struggles with coming to terms with who she is sexually and emotionally and as a person. A lot of these questions that she's seeking answers for and finding more questions instead of more answers is due to her humanities class that she's taking in high school, and they're talking about Greek philosophy and specifically Socrates, and it's very well written, it's very poignant, it's not a super long read, but it's very engaging. One of the things that Astrid does, and it says it's on the back and everything, so it's not like a super big spoiler, but she lays on the picnic table at night, during the day, kind of whenever in her spare time, and she'll look up at the airplanes kind of passing over where she's laying in the sky, and she will send her love up to them. It kind of all started with the airplanes because she was sending her love away. She didn't think that she needed it with her. It wasn't being used for anything. She wasn't really loving anyone and no one was loving her, so she might as well give the love to somebody on that airplane who needed it. And she would talk to those passengers on the airplane, and obviously they couldn't talk back, but I thought that was a really genuine idea, a really unique idea, and so there's little cutouts throughout the book that will be taken onto one of the airplanes passing over Astrid, and we'll get a little snippet, a little moment into one of the passengers' lives. And it was very well written. I really aligned with it. I aligned with it not only because of the writing style, but also in great because of its subject matter. I think Astrid and I have a lot in common. I definitely related to her coming out story and just kind of that journey that she took to discover who she is and who she loves and what love really is. And so anyway, I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. I will be going out to purchase it as absolutely soon as I can. And yeah, it was really sweet. It was really sweet. And I really liked it. I really liked it. So go read it for me. Okay, so those are the books that I read in July, and now on to my August TBR. The first book that I need to finish reading this month is My Sister Lives on the Mantelpiece by Annabelle Pitcher. This book I told you about already. It's very short. I need to read it because it's due back to the library very soon, and so I'm going to do that. Another book that is also due back to the library very soon that I have not yet read, it was in a different TBR video. It's still here, One Crazy Summer by Rita Williams Garcia. I need to read this one. It is also a quick read. Here's hoping. The next book that's on my August TBR is A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I had gotten this from the library, and then you might have seen that I hauled it in my Half Price Books haul because I bought it, because I wanted to buy it, and I thought I would get through this a long time ago, but I did not, just because of things and stuff. So that is going to be read this month. Another book that I put on my TBR list for August is Peeps by Scott Westerfield. This book Christina told me to get, so I did, and it's like about vampires and stuff, which is really interesting, which will go with my current good vampire kick with Buffy. So I'm going to read this month, I hope. I really, really want to, so hopefully it's a thing. Next on my August TBR list is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. I've already read this book. I own this book. I've owned it for many years, but I wanted to reread it because it's been a long time. I really enjoyed it. It is a book written from a young boy's perspective. He has autism. Very well written. I really, really liked this story, and I want to read it so I can remember why. Next on my list is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I have not yet read this book. I cannot believe that I have not read this book. I have owned it for almost a month now, and I have not yet read this book. I know nothing about this book, and I know that I need to read it. So hopefully I will enjoy it, and I just can't wait to see what all the hype is about. The next book on my August TBR list is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I just went out and I bought it because I did. I love the cover art, and I have no idea what this book is about, but I'm excited to try it. The last book on my August TBR list was sort of an impulse buy. I was at Barnes & Noble yesterday with Christina, and she picked it up, thought it looked good, and bought it, so I also bought it because we decided that we could read it together and all that jazz. This book is The Here and Now by Anne Brashers, who knows. I really don't know much about this book either other than what we read, but essentially from what I read from the flap, it's about a girl, Prenna James, who immigrates to New York, but she's actually from a different time zone where, like, I'm reading again, but where like a mosquito-borne illness has changed into a pandemic, and it's like about her potentially saving the current now us. So anyway, it looked really interesting. The cover art is, again, really, really beautiful. I think we're in a really good phase of really great cover art, so I'm really liking it. That is my July wrap-up and August TBR. I'm sure that my TBR will change. Hopefully I can get through all of these books this month. A few of these I will be reading during a readathon because I am a patron of my friend Christina on Patreon, and she is doing the very first ever official Unicorn Warrior Readathon. If you're pledged at the $5 level and above on her Patreon page, you have access to her secret Facebook group and thus can participate in the readathon. So I am a patron of hers, and I will be participating in this readathon because it's gonna be so freaking fun. So if that sounds interesting to you, you should definitely check her out. And this is by no means like go spend money to do a readathon if you don't have the money, obviously, but I really, really, really believe in Patreon, and I believe that it is a really cool platform for us viewers to give back to the creators and help them make more creative content that we like to watch. So that's why I do Patreon. You should definitely check her out, check her videos out, and check her Patreon out. And if you happen to be a Patreon or think you might want to be, please join in with our readathon because it's gonna be so great. Okay, that is all. I will talk to you guys later, and bye!